Thanks for stopping on in for today's college basketball pick video play heading into Tuesday, December 12th, 2017. In today's video, going to be talking about this interesting matchup here between the Michigan Wolverines and the Texas Longhorns. Give our take on who we feel has the better edge against the spread. If you guys are interested in getting all of our college basketball plays for today, you can get those over at stumpthespread.com, linked down in the video description, and be sure to click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. So heading into this one, Michigan sitting as about 6-point underdogs, which is a pretty fair number considering the fact that Michigan on average is about 3 points worse in terms of their plus minus than what Texas has been able to produce so far this year against a similar non-conference strength of schedule. And also when you head on the road to a true road setting, you get another 3 points. So getting that 6 points, a fairly predictable number there for the Wolverines, and a fair number certainly. So Michigan in their last outing, they were able to come through against UCLA at home. That was a pretty good resume building win there for the Wolverines, getting past the Bruins by a final of 78-69. A great bounce back result for Michigan after they were coming off of a very disappointing 62-71 loss on the road against Ohio State in their previous outing. And in that road game against Ohio State, Michigan, they looked to be in control of things throughout the first half, but they just completely fell apart in the second half, and they weren't able to get anything going on the offensive side of the ball, which was surprising with how much confidence that they were playing in that road game against a pretty decent Ohio State team, but not necessarily an Ohio State team that's going to be among the elites in the Big Ten this year. Both of these squads, we expect them probably at the end of the day to make the NCAA tournament, but we also wouldn't be too surprised to see both teams kind of hovering around that bubble picture for a good portion of the regular season. And when the committee looks at things at the end of the year, you really want to win these non-conference games. They tend to have quite a bit of weight, so a very important game here for both teams. Michigan, with that 8-3 overall record, their defeats coming against Ohio State on the road by 9 points, on the road against North Carolina by 15 points, and then not such a great loss in that game against LSU, losing that one by 2 points. And Michigan right now, they're 35th in the nation in terms of points given up compared to 176 in scoring average, a plus-minus of about plus 12. You compare that over to Texas, who actually has the exact same total defensive numbers, but they've been a little bit better offensively, and their plus-minus is about 3 points better than what Michigan has been able to produce. The Wolverines, they like to slow things down into the half court, rely on their great three-point shooting. They don't rebound the ball all that well, and this has just been a consistent trend that we've seen with the Wolverines under head coach Beeline. They sacrifice their rebounding for the advantage of typically having big guys that can shoot the three ball, so they don't typically have a bunch of guys camped down in the lane. It's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic works out itself here today against the Horns, who like to press, really get up into their opponents defensively. On the year, like I said, Texas about 3 points better in terms of that plus minus, but in terms of rebounding, averaging about 6 more rebounds per contest than Michigan. And if the Horns are going to have success in this matchup here, they're going to have to dominate those boards, get those second chance scoring opportunities, because if not, Michigan, they're going to do their business on the offensive end in terms of generally pretty solid three-point shooting. And to keep pace, the Horns aren't going to want to get into a lot of one-and-done situations shooting the ball. They don't have quite the level of shooters that Michigan has. So getting those rebounds is going to be very important to them having success here. Texas, in their last outing, picking up a pretty nice resume-building win. Actually, probably their first true resume-building win so far during the non-conference. They went on the road against VCU, picked up that win by a final of 71-67. They actually got out to a pretty decent-sized lead in that one. VCU came roaring back there at the end, but the important thing for the Horns was they were able to hold on, pick up the win. And there are 2 losses this year, very respectable losses. Firstly, to Duke by 7 points, and then to Gonzaga by just 5 points. Very competitive matchups there for the Horns in each outing, and definitely a net positive overall for their resume, even though those were both defeats. They came against great opposition on neutral courts, so pretty respectable showings there from the Horns. So coming to this one, we feel like the better edge against the spread is going to be with Michigan, even though this is a true road setting. We feel like this is going to be a pretty competitive matchup between two teams that don't mind necessarily playing in the half court and working through sets on the offensive side of the ball. Texas and Michigan both having pretty highly ranked defenses in terms of the points that they give up. So seeing this one finish probably somewhere in the 60s for each squad, is going to mean that these points have a little bit more value. And as a result, we're going to go ahead and side with the Michigan Wolverines getting the 6 points in what we feel is going to be a competitive matchup at the end of the day. And again, guys, if you're interested in getting all of our college basketball plays for today's action, you can get those over at stumpthespread.com, linked down in the video description, and be sure to click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping on in, and we hope to see you guys in future videos. Bye.